Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jacob Stan and I love reading and telling stories to kids of all ages. Alright, so if you watched part 1, you know things have already gotten weird. But trust me when I say this is just the beginning. Our guy thought that one creepy encounter in the graveyard was all there was to it, but no. That was just her way of saying hello. And now she's not letting go. Buckle up because this one's about to get intense. Okay, so after that night in the graveyard, I convinced myself I was just imagining things. You know how your mind plays tricks on you when you're freaked out? I figured maybe I was just tired. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe I just wanted to believe it wasn't real. But deep down, I knew better. That wasn't just some dream or hallucination. That woman, she was there. She touched me. She spoke to me. And worst of all, I left the graveyard that night feeling like she had claimed me. The next morning I woke up feeling like crap. My head was pounding, my whole body ached like I had run a marathon in my sleep, and my skin felt ice cold. I dragged myself out of bed and went to the bathroom, and that's when I saw it. There was something on my reflection, something small but chilling, right there on my cheek where she had touched me, a faint, pale handprint, like frostbite. I touched it, expecting it to hurt, but it didn't. It just felt numb. Now, here's the thing. I should have lost my mind right then and there, right? Called someone, freaked out, done something, but instead, I just stood there, staring, like some part of me already knew this was going to happen. The rest of the day was normal, mostly. I went to work, tried to push it out of my mind, but every now and then I'd catch something in the corner of my eye, like a shadow that wasn't supposed to be there, or a flicker of movement where there shouldn't have been any. I kept telling myself I was being paranoid. And then, that night, everything changed. I was scrolling through my phone in bed, trying to distract myself, when I got a message from my buddy Mark. He knew I had gone through the graveyard, and I had kind of joked about the whole ghost lady thing with him earlier in the day. The message just said, "Dude, check this out." Attached was an old blurry photo of an old newspaper article. I squinted at it, trying to make out the words. It was dated over 100 years ago. The headline, "Bride found dead on wedding night. Murder or tragic accident." My stomach dropped. I opened the picture and zoomed in, and that's when I saw her. Right there, in an old faded photograph, was the same woman I had seen in the graveyard, same long dark hair, same piercing blue eyes, same eerie beauty that made my skin crawl. The article was about a woman named Eleanor Whitman, according to the story. She had been set to marry some rich guy back in the late 1800s, but on the night of her wedding, she was found dead in the very graveyard I had walked through. No one knew exactly what happened. Some said she was murdered by a jealous ex-lover. Others said she had been so in love that when something went wrong with the wedding, she took her own life. But there was one thing every version of the story agreed on. She was still waiting for her groom. I felt sick. I wanted to believe it was just a coincidence, just some weird urban legend. But then Mark sent a second message. "Dude, don't freak out, but does your face feel weird?" My blood ran cold. I knew exactly what he meant. My hand flew to my cheek, to the cold, numb spot where she had touched me. How the hell did he know? I called him immediately. "Dude," he said the second he picked up. "Don't go back there. I don't know what the hell you saw, but that graveyard, that's where she chooses people." I didn't ask what that meant. I didn't want to know. I just hung up and tried to convince myself that none of this was real. But that night, I got proof I couldn't ignore. I woke up at 3:13 a.m. You ever have that feeling like you just know something woke you up, but you don't know what? That's how I felt. The room was dead silent, no wind, no cars outside, nothing. And then I saw it. Something was on my nightstand, something that hadn't been there before. My hands were shaking as I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight. It was a ring, an old gold wedding band. It looked ancient, like it had been buried for years. The moment my light hit it, a chill ran down my spine. I recognized it. It was the same ring I'd seen in that old wedding photo, the one on Eleanor Whitmore's hand. I scrambled out of bed, my heart hammering. I didn't touch it. I didn't even breathe near it. I just stared, trying to convince myself I was still dreaming. But then, right as I reached for my phone to take a picture, the ring moved. Not like it rolled off the table or something. No, it spun, like someone had flicked it, like someone was in the room with me, watching me. I barely managed to stifle a scream. I grabbed my phone, turned on every light in my apartment, and just sat there, staring at the ring. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night, because somehow I knew exactly what was happening. She had given me a gift, a proposal, and I had no idea what would happen if I refused. The next morning, I did the only thing I could think of. I tried to get rid of it. I took the ring, wrapped it in cloth, and drove straight to the river at the edge of town. I tossed it in, watched it sink, and finally breathed a sigh of relief. I told myself it was over. But that night, when I got home, my heart stopped. Because sitting right there on my nightstand was the same ring. I wasn't just marked anymore. I was hers. Alright guys, that's it for part 2. What would you do if you woke up with a cursed ring in your house? Do you think it's just a haunting or something way worse? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you don't miss part 3. Trust me, things are about to get even darker. I'll see you next time, if she doesn't get me first.